Hello, awesome people. How are we feeling this afternoon? There's a bit of joy over there in the corner. How about all the way in the back? I feel like I'm having to look all the way to Graz or something. You guys in the back doing okay? Oh, look at the wave from you wonderful humans. Thank you. Oh, this is so exciting. I'm really thrilled today. We've got such a cool program for you guys. We are bringing you disability innovations. And I want to be clear about something. The future of innovation, the future of disability rights, the future of human rights is sitting right here on the stage with me. And I think they're going to impress you with how innovative and how much of a change, how much of an impact we're creating day after day after day, starting with right now. And I want to introduce you to an absolute star, a rock star, if you will, in a man named Esteban. Now, Esteban runs a company called Humanos 3D. He's going to take you through all of what that is. But what impresses me about Esteban most is his humility. He has managed to create impact across multiple continents. And yet, when you speak with him, it's as if you're talking to your best friend. He is that rooted and down to earth. Esteban, take us through. How are things?
Well, okay, thank you. Have you wondered why you do what you do? For example, I create assistive devices through 3D printing technology for people with open limbs disability. But why I'm doing that? Maybe because I like it, maybe because I studied bioengineering and I know how to do it, or who knows, maybe there is a simple reason. Why not, right? The idea is just to help, but there's always a hidden reason behind of all this. I don't have a disability, but I know how you feel when people see you different. I born in a little rural area in Colombia, where it was difficult to access to education and technology. Then I passed to the university, and I had to travel until the city. For me, it was really difficult because the city is so different. Everything happened so fast, and I felt that everyone was one step ahead of me because they have more educations, they have access to a laptop. For me, it was a little more tricky. And that made me feel a little frustrated and excluded from the society. So I started to work in Humanos 3D. And in this place, I meet this guy, Rigoberto. And in Colombia, the situation with the conflict, with the violence, was a little bad. And he lost both hands in an accident because of the landmines. So his dream was to play table tennis again. And he was attaching his racket to his stump just with tape. And of course, that was not working, right? And he told me something. He told me, I feel frustrated and excluded from the society. So he said exactly the same words that I feel before, too. So I saw that we were not so different. And then with the team, we made assistive devices for him, and he could play table tennis again and participate in an international tournament in Germany called Invictus Game. And he became the champion with this little thing, with these assistive devices. Then I saw that being different is not so bad. And I wanted to do the same. Then I traveled to here to an international conference for do the things I like to do, talking about Humanos 3D and showing my project. Just like Rigo, there is 4 million of persons with disability just in Colombia. We created, and you know, most of those people live in rural areas and have difficulties to access to technology and education. So we decided to create a project called Mobile Clinics, where we are traveling around all different cities from Colombia, delivering not only a product, we are doing something more. Usually the markets usually the recipient receives what the market sells, but not what they really need. We co-create with our users. We understand their needs. And with that, we can give a real solution. If you want to play table tennis, if you want to play the violin, or something so simple like brushing your teeth by yourself, you can do it with Humanos 3D. And with this project, we have an innovative form to go to the community. Just a model of distribution really impactful, because we have reached around 400 persons until now, and not just in Colombia. We have helped people from Peru, Venezuela, United States, Mexico, and this year we are scaling this project in Africa. So this is incredible, and I would like to invite you to join us. If you want to be part of this, you need to know that Humanos 3D is a non-profit organization that have been here for 7 years and focus into change the perspective of how the people see the disability. Join us, give us a hand, and we promise to give many more.
Esteban, you give me chills, and I can see the emotion on your face, and I saw as the tears kind of came to your eyes, they weren't tears of sorrow, they were tears of joy to see what you were able to achieve. And I'll ask you to hold up this 3D prosthesis again, because when I see this, this is a symbol of victory. This is a symbol of triumph, and this is a symbol of Humanos 3D. Absolutely amazing work. I would now like to turn to a couple of dear friends and colleagues. Ali, you are running DeafTawk along with your, I could call him your best friend, no? And you guys are just the most winning pair I think I've seen in my life, and I would love to hear more about DeafTawk. Please tell us.
Just imagine you visit to the doctor, but unable to explain the pain or in the classroom, but unable to understand what the teacher is talking about. Such challenges that I faced since I was born deaf. No one was able to listen to me and understand my pain point. I was so isolated that I was not able to communicate with anyone. My parents then decided to move me to the US to a very sign language facility. I was so moved, I was so overjoyed with the help of interpreter. I was able to communicate with the teachers, with the doctors. I was able to communicate with the general public. I became part of the society. And then I was able to complete my computer engineering. And I returned to Pakistan after 15 years, and then I realized that the problem was still there.
And Wamiq is not alone. It's 70 million people across the globe facing that particular challenge every single day. If they visit to a doctor, unable to explain the pain, or if they are in a classroom, unable to understand what the teacher is talking about because of limited sign language interpreters. According to WHO, it's for 8,000 deaf users, only one sign language interpreter is there. So you can see the humongous gap in it. Over the top, 90% of deaf people unable to read their native languages, which means they cannot access to any written content. The Facebook, the websites, the Instagrams, it's not accessible for them. And I'm Ali SHABBAR. He's my eyes because I'm blind.
And he's my ears because I'm deaf.
And we are a DeafTawk team. We are here to bridge the communication gap for the deaf community. We are providing that services through digital sign language interpretation services wherever, whenever required. We have two major products. One is a mobile app, which connects deaf users with human sign language interpreters in real time. So if Wamiq visits to a doctor, log in with the mobile app, in 30 seconds, finds the interpreter and able to communicate their pain points. Moreover, if he's in the classroom, can also log in with the app, find the interpreters, and understand what the teacher is talking about. But what about the websites and mobile application? Now you don't need to worry about. We have an AI solution which provides an accessibility button on the mobile apps or any website. Just click on it, finds the translation through an AI avatar. We have just started. It's been just 4 years in which, if we talk about the intervention or traction, more than 1,200 jobs being created through DeafTawk platform. 92 calls on the daily basis being facilitated at hospital in order to communicate with the doctors. Moreover, we have 97,000 beneficiaries in the existing markets, which includes Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Denmark, US, and Singapore. Last but not least, 1.5 million minutes have been rendered. We always want to be the Google translator for the deaf community. That's why we want to launch our services in African markets and Latin American markets. In the hall, if somebody is operating in these two markets, wants to empower the deaf community, wants to bridge their communication gap, please join us. We are in the hall and outside at the booth, waiting for you to bridge that communication gap and empower the deaf community.
Thank you.
You have such a wholesome partnership, and when I see you and the smiles on your face, it just brings a warmth and joy to my heart. I want to reiterate what you had just said there. If you guys are out there sitting in these chairs right now, and you're thinking to yourself, I come from Latin America, I come from Africa, I might be able to help these guys. Please, on hands and knees, I beg you, come and have a conversation. There's no commitment to a handshake and a hello. Give them that courtesy, and I guarantee you they will impress you as much as they have impressed me getting to work with them these 9 months. Thank you guys so much. Let's give them another round of applause. They deserve it. And speaking of awesome human beings, I have next to me Samir. Now, Samir is one of these guys that the minute you see him, he has this air of gravitas, this authority with him. You know when he speaks, the words will be wise and they will be validated by years of experience. So Samir, I'd love to hear, what are you working on with DISC?
Have you wondered that we have 1.3 billion people with disabilities and yet not a single billion-dollar startup that has succeeded? Have you wondered, when you have a community that has so many problems, why are there so few problem solvers? Why are young tech entrepreneurs? You have the Facebook, Meta, you have Google. Where are the young tech entrepreneurs wanting to work in this sector? Why are they not coming here? These are profound questions that we have been attempting to answer. Hello, my name is Samir Rawal. I am a coach and a mentor to early stage startups working in the space of assistive technology. I am wearing a black jacket, black trousers, salt and pepper, more pepper than salt in my hair and beard. And I'm going to talk to you about the genesis of where we started.
Green button, right in the middle.
Oh, this one. Oops. Okay. So 2015, I became part of the largest human gathering on the planet. It's called the Kumbh Mela, held in the city of Nashik. This is where you have 35 million people descend in a city of just 1.5 million people. Can you imagine? You have a home that can accommodate 10 people, and suddenly you have 500 guests who want to stay there. The chaos, there's sanitation issues, there's hygiene issues, there's transportation. It's a mess. And you know what happens? The young people, we wanted young people to want to stay there and work for these challenges. And all the young people, because they get a holiday, they leave the city. We wanted to wonder, why are young people not interested in this? When we spoke with them, they said, first of all, nobody sees us as problem solvers. They think we don't have the experience. And even if we came up with an idea, would anybody even listen to us? So you know what's best? We just leave the city. We said, this has to change. Why can't young people become problem solvers? So we started an initiative where we got 1,000 young people to register for an initiative. We gave them 21 challenges to solve. And we gave them mentorship for close to a year. before the event started, from 2014 onwards. And in that entire setup, we deployed 13 technology innovations. Prior to this, whenever there was an event of this magnitude, you would have stampedes. And unfortunately, in the same city, the previous event had 23 deaths. They were lost and found, people who were lost but never reunited with their families. It was this that we were trying to address. And after this event, for the first time, we had, in recorded history, an event that had zero loss of life, zero spread of epidemics, zero case of lost and not found. This was an amazing experience. This became a case study in Harvard. And everybody was very excited. For the first time, we had young people solving challenges that could impact the life of millions of people. However, after the event ended, we came to know that none of these young people wanted to stay back. We asked them, why would you not continue this amazing journey? And they said, we can't because there's no path. And they left, and we felt very bad about it. That's when we decided that we will be the change that we want to see in the world. And we decided to start Digital Impact Square. There are 3 key pillars to Digital Impact Square. Youth, because they are the future of our country. Community, because we cannot solve social challenges without involving the community. And sustainable impact. And we address these through social entrepreneurship. This is what makes us unique, and this is what makes us different. Our impact so far, we have had 11 startups in the last 10 years that have been addressing multiple disabilities. The average age of a co-founder is just 23 years, young people. And so far, more than 150,000 lives have been touched and counting as we speak. What we have realized is the model that we have developed took us 10 years, but there's no reason why you cannot learn from it. We are now ready to scale. We create change by creating change makers, and so can you. So if you're interested in knowing the secret recipe that we have taken and done this, please feel free to say hello to me and drop me a message, and let's have this conversation. Let's see if we can replicate this amazing story that we have in your part of the world. Thank you so much.
Wow. I just can't get over that 35 million number. I mean, when you say, like, okay, you're sitting in your apartment and suddenly hundreds of people descend to come visit, and they're all knocking on the door at the same time, everybody wanting to use the restroom at the same time, my nightmare scenario. I don't know about you guys, but I came this morning right around 9:30, and the queue for security was to the train station. There are only 1,000 people here. Imagine the size of the group of people that come to visit these cities, 35 million people. The challenge that you gave these young people, there's no doubt why they're so engaged with this work. These are real critical issues. And Samir, you've done a remarkable job at being able to engage young people with these serious issues, whether it's international development issues, whether it's disability rights issues, or even just the very core fabric of who we are as a society. It's beautiful. You are amazing. Thank you so much, Samir. That's another round of applause. Very well deserving. Okay. Our next speaker is Gabriel from Incluyeme. So Gabriel, I'll turn the conversation over to you.
Hi, everyone. If I have to tell you a story about what it implies to have a disability and looking for a job in Latin America and some of the barriers a person with a disability face, I think that the best analogy is this wall. It doesn't matter how much you train, one time after the other, you feel rejected by employers that have no idea how to evaluate a person with a disability. That's the story of Pablo. Pablo was studying at university, and all his friends started going to job interviews. And by the time Pablo went to a job interview, the recruiter spotted that Pablo was having a visible disability. So the recruiter has no idea on how to ask about the disability and what Pablo can do, and he got rejected. And those typical interviews last 5 minutes instead of 40 minutes. And the more interviews Pablo attended, the more rejected he felt. And that's not only the story of Pablo. We have many Pablos in Latin America. We have more than 85 million people with disabilities, and the unemployment rate is plus 70%. So what we're doing, and our mission is, for the last 12 years, we've been working on creating more inclusive companies and also helping people with disabilities to find jobs through those companies. And we have the chance to work in 14 countries in Latin America and also expand our reach to emerging markets all around the world. Some of the impact we had is we have 240,000 people with disabilities looking for jobs through our platform, and we are doing matchmaking with more than 700 companies who are looking for talent of people with disabilities. And we started doing that as a job board, and we realized that it was not enough because some companies were not ready to hire. Those are some of the companies we are working with. And we discovered that we needed to work with the culture first, and once we have an inclusive culture in companies, then we were able to make those connections happen. The worst thing that we can do was to send applicants to a company that was not ready to hire. And we've been also working with an intersectional approach about what it means to have a disability plus being a woman and trying to enter into tech, or being a migrant with disabilities. And some of the projects we did were aimed to upskill people with disabilities and make them ready for jobs. And I want to finish the story of Pablo. When you equip a person with a disability with the right skills, this person can thrive. And Pablo has been working for Accenture for the last 3 years based on having the right skills and also having the company being ready to evaluate the person for the skills and not only by the disability. And there is a phrase that says that work dignifies people. And it doesn't only apply to, in this case, to Pablo, but to his family as well. Pablo's family invested a lot to support him to study. And once Pablo was able to find a job, he was able to provide for his family as well. So my invitation is to join us, enable inclusion, and enable inclusion in more markets. We are looking for partners to expand our impact in more developing countries. And also, we need to keep upskilling people to be ready for the jobs that are being created right now. So we are looking for the right partners to scale up our impact. Thank you so much.
Excellent. Including you guys are doing great work over there, and the folks you serve there in Argentina really benefit. It's a truly impactful program, and I appreciate you being here. Your story reminds me of a story from one of the other Scaling Solutions fellows. So believe it or not, this awesome group only represents half of the full cohort of Scaling Solutions fellows. So if you want to hear the other half, they're going to be here tomorrow. This is a sneak preview. Tomorrow at 11:20, be back in this room, and you'll get to hear 7 more amazing stories of transformative change that have taken local grassroots initiatives and brought them to the rest of the world. Now, when I talk about local grassroots initiatives, it's hard to fit Migam AI in this box. But at the same time, I feel like you guys started with an idea that has spread to audiences that aren't familiar with or have little to no awareness of disability rights issues. And I believe that sort of impact is invaluable for bringing our messages of inclusion out to the rest of the world. Paweł, how are you doing? How are things with Migam AI?
Thank you, Anthony. You need to all know that my biggest mistake was thinking that for deaf people, it's only the problem that they cannot hear me. We didn't understand as a hearing people that for them communication is something much more difficult. Try to think about almost 80 million people all around the world that are struggling with access to information and data, including administration, including healthcare, but also entertainment. But what about emergency alerts? What about bombing alarms? The same. Isolation and frustration, these are daily reality for millions of deaf people globally. I'm Paweł Potakowski. I'm a tall blonde man in a blue suit, blue shirt, and even with blue dots on my socks. I like blue. I'm here to show you how we could change life for all deaf people globally with use of AI. We began with a dream, connecting deaf community through human interpretations made online, and what we need was to understand that scaling this solution, it's really difficult. You need to know that I have made something wrong because it's far away. Sorry. Oh, this was the slide for it. You need to know that it was, for us, a great experience when Sir Richard Branson, I would like to show him, yes, recognized our solution, and we were secretly amused when he stumbled over our CEO's surname. Try on your own. 1, 2, 3, everyone. Great. Przemysław Kuśmierek, you are wonderful. You need to know that after 200,000 of the interpretations made online by our interpreters, we understood how difficult it will be to provide this solution for everyone and everywhere. And this is why we changed our pathway into AI. Think about our AI model as a master sign language interpreter which has got 1.4 billion connections in her head just to provide sign language interpretations. When we watch someone who's using sign language, we notice hands, we notice the body, and also the face. Our sign language model is making the same things. We address 11 points of the body, but also 42 points per each hand, and also 52 blend shapes for 52 different emotions. If you try to describe what we have built, it will be like putting 200,000 of pages into one book. One book which could transform accessibility in the way it's impossible to address it in other way. Something is strange. My presentation is changing on their own, so maybe AI is behind of it. The best part of our system is that inside of it there is a very large grammar processing model which allow us to have like having a language specialist inside of it. And now imagine a Netflix library, 17,000 of hours of material. Do you know that it could take for sign language interpreters to make it translated in one sign language 7 years, and it could cost $7 to $10 million. We could cut this price by 70%. We are collaborating with excellence, with such companies like Microsoft and NVIDIA, and also Stanford University confirmed the quality of what we are doing. And you need to know that we are now here as a team of 4 people available for you to talk about possibility to change life for deaf people globally. Come to booth number 1 in front of this room and exchange the ideas directly with my team. Thank you very much.
It's just so revolutionary to see how you've been using AI to transform the lives of people in so many ways. It just warms my heart and it really connects to me. And it's also, my best friend is from Poland. And so it reminds me of her in so many ways, and it makes me feel even more connected to your work and your growth. Again, guys, if you are out there sitting there and you know someone who has a sign language at their fingertips that you think is underrepresented or unrepresented in a lot of mainstream areas, Paweł's the kind of guy to come talk to, because he can integrate this into his systems at this stage as it continues to grow and as it continues to become more mainstream. And that's a very, very exciting proposition. Thank you so much, Paweł. You're absolutely amazing. Yes, another round of applause. All right, so I guess we're over halfway through the panel, so I should introduce myself as the panel moderator. Wouldn't that be exciting? My name is Anthony, Dr. Anthony GIANNOUMIS. I am American by birth, Norwegian by choice, and I am grateful to have made that choice 14 years ago. I started my career as a computer programmer and then decided that was boring and I wanted to go into the arts, so I became an opera singer. And then that became, well, unpaid. So then I took another right turn into academia, and that became fun for a few years. But then I started taking to the stage once again as a storyteller and a comedian. And storytelling is something I hold dear to me, and it's also something that is core to the work of TAI in Tanzania. And I have next to me one of the most amazing humans I've ever met in my entire life. We have here Mariam representing TAI. And Mariam, tell us a story.
Well, first of all, I have a secret to tell you. I was completely ignorant of the dark reality of the thousands of children with disabilities who are being hidden in their homes by their parents. Until one day, I was engaging with a group of students, and one of them just raised her hand and asked, "So how will my friend who has a disability and is at home go to school? Will she ever be successful?" My name is Mariam Mhina, and this is the story that one of my colleagues told me on a Monday morning that was more blue than it was joyous. Her words pierced my heart and started in my colleague as well as in me a revolution. So we, along with our colleagues at TAI, which is an NGO based in Tanzania, decided that we are going to become advocates to create an environment where all people, no matter their ability, will thrive in our community and beyond our community. So what did we do? We turned to the power of storytelling. I want you to just take a moment, close your eyes if you'd like, and remember a time when that favorite grandmother or your favorite grandfather just, told you a story about the way of life back in the day or a difficult time that they overcame. Those are the kind of stories that have left a deep impression on you and gave you the beliefs and the values that you carry with you until today. We decided to take that same approach, that we will go into our communities, take stories around the challenges that people with disabilities are facing, and raise awareness about this critical issue. So we go into the community to collect the story. We actually create the story, shape it with our community, and then we give the story life through animation, comics, and radio dramas that, if I may say so myself, are captivating and very exciting for young people. Our stories are from our community and for our community. It's really been amazing, and our stories are raising awareness, making our community more and more knowledgeable, so they're making more informed decisions. And these same stories are giving our young people and older people the intention to change for the better. One time after showcasing one of our animations, one of the students came up to me and said, you know, I have a friend who is in a wheelchair, a classmate of mine. I will never laugh at her again. My eyes teared up, and I knew that something had changed in her. It was as though her heart of stone had turned into a heart of flesh that could finally feel compassion for her classmate who had a disability. I knew that we were up to something even greater than ourselves. It's been over 5 years, and so far we have reached over 6,000 youth in and out of school. We have also reached over 5 million people in Tanzania and beyond through television, through radio, and YouTube. And you too can actually watch our animation through our YouTube channel called Thai Animate. I don't want to leave you in more suspense, so I just want to show you a snippet, if the media team may help me, just a snippet of one of our animations on physical disability. And as it plays, I will just narrate it so that we have an audio kind of feel of what is going on. So this animation starts and children are celebrating. They've won a basketball tournament, but boom, suddenly an accident. And the bus is rolling, and this young girl who could walk before can't anymore. She's in a wheelchair. People are laughing at her. She can't play basketball anymore. When she goes to school, she can't use the washrooms because the infrastructure isn't made for her. And she cries. The bus leaves her, and she has no other mode of transport. Her mother is waiting for her, but she has to go through rain and basically go all the way home, and the pain that she experiences. How will she get home? What time will she get there? Is it safe? She's breathing, but she gets the correct wheelchair and can finally play basketball again. What a story. Her life has gotten better. People will no longer laugh at her. She is the hero in herself. She believes in herself. So if you are interested in what we do, you're an organization that wants to use our content, we welcome you so that you can use the animations to impact your own communities. And also, if our work resonates with you and you want to support us to scale our impact across the African continent, I welcome you to join us. So please, do take a stand by standing with us to create a future where every young person with a disability in Africa is protected, powered, and propelled towards their dreams. Thank you.
I'm having to swallow the lump in my throat. Every time I see that video, it provokes tears. I can only say, wow, Miriam, wow. Thank you for bringing this to us. Thank you for the work that you do. Thank you to Deborah, who runs Thai, who leads Thai.
Yeah.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Well, last but certainly not least, and to end us on a bit of a high note, we have Gideon. Gideon, you run Tom, and I've seen you work in this program, and I've seen you grow, and I've seen you flourish. And now you're here to tell us, what does Tom represent to you and to the world?
Anthony, thank you very much. Thank you to the Zero Project and the Essl team. Innovators here on the stage, friends here in this awesome audience. Have you ever wondered why sometimes you need a simple solution but can't get one, while out there are thousands of engineers that are willing to help you? Why families have to improvise simple solutions to daily needs of loved ones so that they can eat, drink, or participate in sports or music? And why are our solutions so expensive and often don't exist at all? Reality can be different. Breaking out of these traps of scarcity and mediocrity requires imagination. We need to imagine a world where reliable, functional solutions are radically affordable. A world where such solutions are available to anyone in developing and developed nations, in rural and urban areas. Friends, just imagine a world of affordable, accessible to anyone, anywhere. I am Gidi Grinstein. I'm an Israeli who lives in New York City. I'm about 180. I'm dressed in a dark blue suit, white shirt. I'm solid, some say heavy. I come from a world of strategy in diplomacy and economic development, and have always been passionate about making society work for everyone. I could never understand why some countries invest billions in military innovations, but do not have an innovation authority to fight the war on poverty. This is why I founded TOM, which stands for Tikkun Olam Makers. Tikkun Olam is an ancient Jewish concept that calls upon every person to do what they can to better the world. Our team and I, including our CEO, Idan Sela, who's sitting right here with me, were inspired by the idea of mobilizing thousands of engineers, product designers, and programmers to help millions of people around the world. Meet Zohar. He's 2 years old, but cannot stand or walk on his legs. This means that he crawls on his knees and elbows to move around, and he cannot join a regular kindergarten. Zohar needs a wheelchair. Sadly, wheelchairs for toddlers are very expensive and often not covered by insurance. In many places, they're not available at all. So now in the middle photo, just meet our students from Tel Aviv. As you can see, they come from different religions and cultures, but they collaborate together. They work with Zohar's parents to create a special wheelchair that costs $200. Now Zohar is one of the coolest kids in the kindergarten because everyone wants to ride his chair. But we wanted to help many Zohars around the world, and we have. Hundreds of such wheelchairs have been delivered by local manufacturers in the US, Israel, the Palestinian Authority, Turkey, Morocco, Mexico, Pakistan, and other places. Moving from one wheelchair, to many required putting the design files online so others could download and use them. Creating such design files, product files, as you can see, is very challenging. They must detail materials, tools, and step-by-step journey of creating the product. They need to be precise and detailed so anyone can use them without calling on our team. But Tom's vision, ambitions were bigger. You see, Zohar's wheelchair required orchestrating dozens of volunteers with different skills over months. But if we standardized and replicated that process, we could inspire and support thousands of solutions that could help millions of people. So we divided the innovation process into 5 phases and wrote a detailed playbook to guide it. To date, the TOM portfolio that you can see includes 1,000 TOM solutions in different phases of development. These are solutions for employment, eating and drinking, sports, music, rehabilitation, parenting, and even trauma alleviation and emergency response. This portfolio has been the collective creation of thousands of contributors who are people just like you from 36 countries in 5 continents who hail from universities, schools, care centers, and corporates. All TOM solutions are in the public domain, which means that they belong to humanity, and anyone can download and create them anywhere. Friends, please scan this QR code. Every year, we run a competition of solutions for people with disabilities. Over 5 years, we had hundreds of teams from 30 countries participate. We now invite you, your family, your friends, your community to participate as well. You can take on a new challenge or simply share with us or with humanity a solution that you already created or use. Once your product is deposited in our portfolio, we will support its development until it is ready for others to use. No one here needs to be motivated to help people with disabilities. But we know that money talks, and we have monetary prizes, and until today we've delivered prizes in 5 continents. We often say, help one, help many. Your solution can help people, many people who need it. Please share it. Thank you.
That's phenomenal, and the ripple effects of what you are doing, Gidi, are profound. Seeing how one little piece of the puzzle can just amplify innovations around the world really touches the heart. Now, you might be sitting in your seats right now, thinking to yourself, Anthony, you got a lot going on up there on that stage. And you're absolutely right. These people are awesome. You might also be thinking to yourself, Anthony, I've got an interesting idea or two up my sleeve. Wouldn't it be cool if I could be on that stage next year? And I'll give you a little secret. Every one of these individuals on this stage started where you're sitting right now, in those seats, with an interesting, innovative, cool, exciting idea, and they grew it. They worked on it. They championed it, and now they get to be here today. And one of the reasons they get to be here today right now is because of the Zero Project Scaling Solutions program. This is what we do. We help accelerate, amplify, and grow brilliant ideas around the world. So I want to challenge each one of you idea makers, each one of you innovators, each one of you who sits there thinking, I could make a change. You can, we can help, and you can be on this stage next year. And I want to encourage all of you, come talk to me. Come talk to one of these fellows. Come talk to anyone at Zero Project, and we will help you take your work to the next level. Let's give one last round of applause to these wonderful, amazing, and awesome human beings. And a round of applause for you for being here. Thank you guys so much, and have a great day.